Wow, you must have a cold. Okay, well, on Monday, August the 26th of this year, the defendant Raymond Andrew Walters, 32 years of age, of Dayton, stabbed his 60-year-old father numerous times and then stole his father's pickup truck and fled the area. The defendant drove from Xenia Avenue in Dayton, where the stabbing occurred, to the city of Riverside, where he crashed the pickup truck on Airway Road. The Riverside police responded to assist at what they thought was simply a crash on Airway Road, not knowing, of course, that the defendant had already stabbed his father numerous times. However, when the police arrived and went to check on the damage to the vehicle and anybody that may be inside, the defendant then stole the Riverside police cruiser. He then left the scene at a high rate of speed, and minutes later, the defendant, driving the stolen police cruiser, then ended up crashing into several other cars, including a car at the corner of 3rd Street and Patterson that had 7 children inside the vehicle. The defendant was traveling at speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour before he crashed into the vehicle, killing 2 children, 2 girls, just 6 years of age, in the one vehicle. To date, the Montgomery County Grand Jury has indicted this defendant for 2 counts of murder with a penalty of 15 years to life, and 20 additional felonies, including aggravated robbery, including felonious assault, and various other felony offenses. Now, this defendant was already on post-release control at the time that he committed this particular murder, as a result of a robbery conviction back in January of 2017. He had been released from prison just 16 days before he committed this crime. So, as you can see, it's just shocking and tragic what this defendant did that day, and it could have all been prevented. Certainly, our heartfelt sympathies go out to the families of those who lost these 2 little girls, as well as the other people who were injured. Any questions?
How many years?
Her and Dan, because they're in there all the time.
Was he high or intoxicated during this?
Was he what?
High or intoxicated?
Well, one of the charges, of course, is based on him being under the influence. So I think the evidence will probably show he was under the influence of drugs.
Do we know which ones?
I'm sorry?
Do we know which ones?
I do not at this time. Any other questions?
Have you been in touch with the families of these 2 girls that died?
Have we been in touch?
And any idea their reaction to say?
Well, I mean, as you can imagine, it's just devastating. It's life-changing. It's just something that they have to live with the rest of their lives. You know, people say you should never have to bury your child. And garnered so far, it's not like anybody paroled him, hopefully sooner than later.
Do you think he was going to try to deliberately cause a crash going at those speeds, or do you think that's just the consequence of traveling at those speeds, that's kind of a foregone conclusion? Or do you think he was hoping to create some sort of violent crash?
You know, obviously what he did, he knew the speeds he was traveling and where he was going, especially in a highly populated area and highly trafficked area. I mean, you can expect something's going to happen like that. If you're going 100 miles per hour,
to the family and to acknowledge to them your department's going to do their very best to